European Union makes legislative change that will change in-game purchases forever. Forever! And if this goes through, I do believe this is actually a good change. As a result of a complaint that was filed in relation to Star Stable, a free-to-play horse game, mainly marketed toward children, disgusting. The European Union has spanned a long list of guidelines that have urged publishers to make in-game monetization more transparent and straightforward. Yeah, so we've been talking about this for months already, and it seems that it's going forward. European W. What a timeline. Here CPC, Consumer Protection Cooperation Network, where's the N? Confirmed that they're calling for changes in the way games present their currency. A set of key principles targets in-game currency, demanding action be taken to make the price of items more clear. Any company that doesn't do this for games sold in the EU is subject to litigation moving forward. Of course, this is just gonna be EU, right? But maybe other countries will take a look at this and go like, you know what? That actually seems fair. I just hope there's nothing strange going on, and this being from the European Union, I always expect mischief. While doesn't expect it to be an overnight change for every game, the CPC is pushing for it. Star Stable, the main game that brought up this issue and caused reform, has announced to reply to the EU's plea and show they are committed to remedying them. There's no telling which publisher will be up next. Well, if this becomes an actual ruling, all of them? I also remember, I think I mentioned this many times before, but I also remember when, I think it was European Union, I'm not quite sure. Might not be correct. I have been Belgium, maybe? It's been too long. They were trying to crack down on the loot boxes and whatnot, and now you cannot do Gamba, even Twitch Gamba apparently. So that's funny. They also cannot buy currency in games like Dokkan Battle, and look, if you want the game to be fair and show you percentages and exactly how much everything costs, cool. I do still believe that people should be able to buy the Gamba, you know? Just a matter of information. It's just the rough situation, no matter what. It makes a legislative change against microtransactions. In essence, these principles are meant to make it so in-game currency is treated the same as legal tender from a legislative standpoint. In other words, there's no space for exemptions. If there's an item in your store for any game moving forward, it can just have the price listed for in-game currency, which is a good change. It's a mandatory for it to have the price listed in euros as well. And we can see the image here. 750 gems. Okay, how much is that? It's not even real money. Well, it is. It's 5 euros, apparently. The list of the standards companies will be now held to, as well as a small diagram of what they expect to be present for in-game storefronts. Okay, we had to read the image. I'm not used to this, okay? Action points to be taken. When in-game virtual currency or in-game digital content or services are offered for sale, price in real-world money should be clearly and prominently displayed. Yes, you see a lot of people spending inordinate amounts of money, and it's clear they don't understand how much they're spending. There's also the addicted group that will spend no matter what. How many times have I mentioned Monkeygate already, for example? But this is a good change. Just this is a good change. When in-game virtual currency is offered in exchange for another in-game virtual currency, which users can buy with real-world money, its price should be indicated also in real-world money. Fair. When in-game digital content and services are offered in exchange for in-game virtual currency that can be bought directly or indirectly via another in-game virtual currency, the price should be also indicated in real-world money. The price should be indicated based on what the consumer will have to pay in full, directly or indirectly, via another in-game virtual currency, the required amount of in-game virtual currency, that applying quantity discounts, other promotional offers. It's just a bunch of legalese, but please bear with me. Other consumers may acquire in-game virtual currency in different ways and quantities, for example through gameplay or through promotional offers, This does not change the price of the in-game digital content or services itself. The price must constitute an objective reference for what the real-world monetary cost is, regardless of how the consumer acquires the means to purchase it. Cool. I think they should add another change. It's never going to happen. I don't think it's never going to happen, at least. And that would be being able to buy the exact amount you want to buy. But I don't think that's gonna happen. How many times, right? How many times? And it has been happening for more than a decade. Well, you know, you can buy this, let's say this skiing. It costs 850 points. Let's say gems, because there isn't the gem symbol here. Okay, but what do you do? Well, it wouldn't be 850 even. It would be something more strange, like 847. Well, you can buy 500 gems for €5, or 1,120 for €10. So you're gonna buy €10 pack, and you're going to have gems left over. It's never gonna go back to zero again. That's really annoying. That's a big problem, because at the end of the day, you're paying for currency you will not be able to use. That kind of pisses me off. Not gonna lie. They isn't allowing in-game currency entirely. They are, however, forcing the real price of the item to be displayed next to them, which is more than normal, but alas. This extends to the items that can be acquired for free with in-game currency. Even if there is a free way to unlock it, or an alternative way to earn something, the players can buy it with real money, as they have a price on it. Fair. Sure, I'm a free-to-play player everywhere, so of course I'm gonna get that stuff for free. But if it has an actual price, and even if it's not Gamba, these things will have an actual price. You should be able to look at it directly. Oh, well, how's this change? How's inflation now? You shouldn't have to do that on your own. For example, Marvel Rivals has units, blue free tokens, and Latias, is that correct? Gold pay tokens. Even those games can be earned entirely with free blue currency, the real currency price of every single one will have to be named. Fair. Also, don't think we can see here the price with paid tokens. Might be the same, but I guess the free tokens are harder to earn, maybe? I have no idea. So for these bundles, you see the costing euros next to the actual currency to indicate how much it cost. The price of these bundles with the discount will also have to be listed alongside the amount it actually costs with it applied. There are, however, two ways to skate around this. This legislation doesn't cover battle pass skins. They have to be earned with in-game currency, and granting science, those can be paid for. Well, you should have to see at least the price of the battle pass, even though you can get it with in-game currency. Kinda has a real price, right? I'm not sure. Give me the concrete example for this. There are other regulations in place, though. For instance, it bans games from requiring players to purchase several different currencies to buy an item. Something that makes it difficult to tell what the actual price of an item is. Does it really happen? I don't think I've seen that before, but I'm willing to believe it. That's so scummy. This one is huge, however. Third principle bars the practice of getting currency behind certain amounts to have to be purchased. Ah, that's so big, man. It's common practice for games to offer currency in packages to leave the consumer just short of being able to buy what they want, or having leftover points. For instance, here's the way Livelin's digital currency RP is priced. This is exactly what I was talking about. For $130 for 60,200 RP. Role-playing shouldn't be this expensive. You can do it for free at home. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. 775 RP for $5. 1380 for $11. I don't think anything goes 575 or 1380. So that's so disgusting. You will always have leftover points. So now you're more inclined to keep buying. Just because you already have something in your account. I hate that. That's just terrible practice. And compared to the actual storefront, there are some stark differences in the price of items compared to what these currency packages give players. Okay, let's see. I think it's closer nowadays. I think it was way worse back in my day. You can see Battle Academy Rakan 1350. 1380. Well, unless this time you only have 30 left. Also imagine him paying $11 for a skin in League of Legends. Wouldn't be me. Premium pass. I hope this is not a battle pass. But it might be. That's so expensive for a battle pass. It's like $15. Battle pass in League of Legends. Is there anything good in that game? There's not. Come on now. Oh, there we go. If someone wants to buy the battle pass, they're supposed to buy either the 2800 RP pack for $22, or buy the 3080 RP pack and the 575 pack for $15.98. You can say just 16, it's the same. But because the player gets more value from 2800, therefore they're ready to buy more currency. Well, of course you would, right? You get 775 bonus? That's so good! It's free money! It's not free money. It's not free money. Typically, this is League of Legends exclusive practice, but it is a good example. Pretty much every game that uses in-game currency works this way. Traders should not engage in practices that distort the economic behavior of consumers by designing video games in ways that force the consumers to spend more real-world money on in-game currency that they need to buy the selected in-game content or services. The list of principles is playing. On top of this, it also forces stores to allow refunds for, at bare minimum, 14 days after the purchase of in-game currency. Publishers can still withhold their right to make their in-game item itself non-refundable. I don't know how I feel about that one. I guess they had to throw them a bone. That's also kind of anti-consumer, not a big fan. The actual in-game code tokens used to purchase it are fair game. At least there's something you can refund. That's the principle, has some other action points in it, and you can read it in entirety here. I think we're okay. For now though, the said principles will immediately affect every developer selling microtransactions in their games, and force them to make some big changes to the way their storefronts are laid out. This is getting way too out of hand. When the EU, of all places, is just the good guys, okay? Doesn't make any sense. That will affect the gaming industry as a whole within the country. Hold up. Within the country. European Union. Guys, I know this is started, they're not the brightest tools in the crayon box, but I don't think European Union is a country. Is it? I don't know. The reason for this change is mainly to protect children and keep them from being taken advantage of. Yeah, there might be some laws in the US too for that, I'm not quite sure. Students spend a lot of time online, which is actually wrong, and you have to blame the parents. Gaming and renting on social media, this makes them an attractive target for traders and advertisers. Michael McGrath, Commissioner for Consumer Protection, explained, "It's crucial to ensure a safe online environment for consumers, particularly children, so they can enjoy gaming without facing unfair practices. I support the efforts of the CPC network and look forward to working with the gaming industry to protect consumers and children." And obviously, you will have people, oh well, but they were going to add some strange changes here, under the facade of, we have to protect the kids. And you know what? I get it. I get it. That's just the usual slimy excuse. But at the same time, I don't think the changes mentioned here are bad in any way, shape, or form. Is it wrong to know exactly how much you're spending? I think it's fair. It's just information. It's information that you should have. Being able to buy exactly the amount of currency that you want Is that bad? I don't think it is. I think it's actually a really fair point. If I need to buy, let's say, 273 RP, why do I have to buy 575 for $5? I'm gonna have leftovers again. Once again, you're paying for currency that you cannot use. You will need to come up with all the calculation to end up with zero currency. It can be done. It's gonna be annoying. Really annoying, and it's probably gonna be really expensive. It shouldn't have to be the case. From what I'm seeing in this article, these changes are good. There might be a whistle warning, I'm not saying otherwise. But we will need to say that.